Good morning, welcome. This is still Daybreak and it's Tuesday. And when you know it is Tuesday, tunafanyanga mambo ya kuongea about social matters and things that are affecting you, me, everybody who is seated here. Today, we want to talk about, well, let me introduce the parent first. Because there's an example of one on this side. Today we're talking about workplace romance, and we'll start by introducing the power couple. Nonsense.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You've
Uko salama?
decided?
Nimeamua. Yes,
Sawa.
uko salama.
Kabisa.
Hata mimi niko salama sana. Shut up, boy.
You better know.
Yeah, man. Awoli Baola the Shatter Generals.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and CJ Atemo.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
All right.
Yes. Tuko salama. Don't say it. I see you. I see you. I see where you're going.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, there was a bit of Liverpool got afraid. And we had to come in as fans to cool them down. But anyway, today we are talking about workplace romance. Workplace romance. And basically, something very interesting happened where CS Matiang'i spoke and said something to the effect of Wapolisi hawata oana, something like that. But of course, he clarified it in a sort of way. But it got us thinking, what are some of the issues that come up with workplace romances? And I say this because watu husema, usiwe mtu wako kwa industry yako, daktari asiwe daktari, mtu wa media asiwe mtu wa media, mechanic asiwe mechanic.
Why not?
Because wanasema, I want to use daybreak words, morning words. You don't nini where you eat.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why they say. But then on the other side, there's an argument for it is better that if I am a journalist, I look for a journalist, because either way, if you're a reporter, you are here from 9 to 9, 5 days a week, 9 to 9. So of course your looking room, your pool, your hunting ground is limited. So lazima uone kamuta amesema ala na uko sawa. But anyway, that notwithstanding, what do you think about it, Narcissus? Do you think there are rules? Should you never date from the office?
No, you well, I'm not saying you should, but yeah, chances of it happening are very high because you're in the same environment. You spend most of the time with this person. You share the challenges. Challenges are the same. You have the same. It's, and to be honest, like you said, you're working from 9 a.m. to
Yes.
9 p.m. and some hours are even longer. What
Yes.
time do you have to go zooming around for someone who works in a bank? You don't. What, as in between your house, and between from the office and the house, the chances of, if you're driving, surely you won't even see anyone else. Maybe in a JAV, if you are using the public means.
Conversation
In a JAV. Let me tell you how you try.
Warembo kwanza wanakuanga wako serious.
No.
Wameweka sura ya kazi.
No, start talking about the economy.
Ukimwambia hi, how are you? Kwanza anakusize up and down. But somebody said, but it's true. All you have to say, you two words. Hapo sema tu, na hii government itatuonyesha mambo.
That is it.
Conversation starter.
Yeah.
Yes.
But again, chances of you falling in love in your workplace are very high. And also, love is a beautiful thing. You know, when I had Matiang'i say that, I was like, love is a beautiful thing if it's handled the right way.
Yes.
If it's handled
And that's
the right
the thing,
way.
if it's handled the right way. We're going to try to see what that right way is, at least. We'll see, because it's quite dicey. I'm going to ask the question even as we wait for the full text. But it's basically, would you date somebody you work with? That's what we're going to ask. Would you date somebody you work with? The hashtag to use is Daybreak. The SMS line is 22422. Would you date somebody you work with? Would you? Shout out to Sam Gituku. So, Shatta boy, what unaona aje?
In regards to what?
In regards to if it is only fair, because like we are saying again, using not only reporters, doctors. You are at a place 9 to 5. Doctors can be called at any time. Unahitaji a nurse, if you marry a nurse or a fellow doctor, basi atajua enyewe ukiamka usiku and you just got in at 12 and you're leaving at 2 a.m. it's good. It's not like, oh, sasa kazi yako tu ni kuenda, huyo mtu ameumia, kwani lazima uende mtibu saa hii? Ama ni matibabu gani unatafuta? It could be other matibabus.
First of all,
First and foremost,
kuongelea hiyo story ya CS kwa nasema makara wasikatiana wasioane, you cannot prohibit people from being human. Okay? And emotions are just you being human. And emotions can grow from anywhere. You get? That said, there's nothing wrong with being in a romantic relationship in your workplace, but as for me, I would advise against it.
why?
I don't think it's a good thing, man. It is putting yourself on a leash. It is putting yourself on a lot of troubles, man. You put yourself in a lot of troubles. Number one, unaona vile ukikam home jioni, then your spouse wants to take your phone and go through your phone every day. That is...
First of all, what kind of what kind of relationship are you in? Where immediately you get home,
you want to do it and you will think, what is this one doing? See what it is, right?
Yes.
But they want to snoop around your phone. Sindio? You being with them at your workplace, that is them walking through your phone daily at the workplace. Number one, when you're with kuna makasiriko unajitafutia tu kwa kazi. Number one, umekuja, huyu ni mtu wangu, si ndio? Willis anataka kumwambia vile ameng'ara, na tumeingia naye kazi. Willis does not see her as my wife, anamuona kama colleague, si ndio? Umeanza kumcompliment, mimi naanza kujam.
But unafaa kuwa umemwambia kabla mtoke nyumbani anakapo.
Nimemwambia. So ukimwambia inamaanisha niseme na mimi kimwambia.
No, yako ndio iko na weight. So kama mfanye kazi pamoja hata ambiwa place nyingine.
There's office banter that will pass if your spouse does not know.
Those are problems that...
There is office banter that will pass anywhere. But when your spouse is there, hata mabeste zako, there are jokes you make when you are alone and jokes you can't make when your partner is there. Okay? You just need your space to be you. Unaelewa? Just talk, not do crazy things. Sometimes there's just this boy talk that will start in the office. Hutachangia because why unaogopa, nitachangia ikuwe ndio, that is me nikirudi nyumbani. Another thing.
But okay. There is a picture but I was about to upload on my Instagram.
Okay.
It's a picture of somebody throwing away a mask. So I feel that if kama uko hivi ukiwa kazini, then uko hivi ukiwa nyumbani, then
it is the
two different people.
No. Wewe unaweza kuwa msanii ukiwa kazini na ukiwa nyumbani ukiwa Willis. Wewe, please tusidanganyane. It is very possible that you are a different person at work. Because say if you are a comedian here, when you go home you also a comedian.
Yes.
You don't become a different person.
Lazima umchekeshe.
Unamchekesha but sasa wewe ni comedian ukiwa nyumbani.
Kwani si mnatungia hapo? One day I was talking to Jua Kali, akaniambia in fact all of his songs kabla atuwekee sisi, wife yake ndio anasikia na anasikiza hata hizo maneno zake.
Exactly. Lakini sasa lazima mimi anakuaga msanii all through. When he wants to sing anakuwa msanii, anamuimbia kwanza. After that he becomes a husband. Yo,
okay,
again, tuseme mtu wewe ni mdosi job, si ndio? And your spouse ako hapo kazi, si ndio? Alafu ana misbehave. Rather ama anakosea employee mwingine hapo. Huyo employee atakuwa free kuja kumreport. Akuja atiza kwa bwana yake. Ange kumwambia
and there also
their policies.
Also yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. Also there are some HR policies.
Do you live in mass?
Let's talk to CJ.
Please remind me to come back to Shatter's point.
Oh my God. CJ, what do you think? First of all, the basis of it. I know a lot has been said. Before you respond to any of the things he said, just on the basis of it.
Now you see why it took about 10 days to try and find a CJ. This work is not easy.
It's not easy at all, yeah. Yeah, you have to find the CJ.
Well, I think there are pros and cons. The truth of the matter is that human beings are social in nature. And attraction can happen just because of how people work, because they're within the same space. That's a very high possibility. But, you know, Nonsense said, if it is handled well. And I just thought, this is like trying to hold liver in your hands. It's very very slippery, very difficult, because emotions and logic will most of the time go against each other. Even where there are policies, even where there are structures, you'll still find difficulty in implementing those, because an office takes the shape of the occupant of that office, regardless of the law. You'll find one person coming in and with certain rules will be able to effect certain things. Another one will come in, same set of rules, but they don't bring in that kind of personality into that place. To show you that emotions have a way, personality has a way. An insecure person will be insecure no matter what the rules say. A secure person will be secure. So it's a very dicey thing. It has its pros and cons. If it can work, it has a bit of its pros. Not for the sake of, you know what Shatta is saying, you need to be in the office alone so that your spouse does not see what you're doing.
Very covert affairs, clandestine
subscribe
activities.
I'll not subscribe to that, because there are also couples that have started businesses and run very successful companies.
Example, this one.
Yes,
Example, Bill Gates.
and they work,
And
you know.
Okay.
Where,
Bill-
where,
yeah,
where,
well, okay.
where?
Yo, yeah, Bill, okay. I don't know. Anyway, so
And they do work.
Yeah.
So it is possible that you actually work together and nobody's trying to snoop around, because both of you are very professional. You understand what you're doing. You understand your scope of work. You understand when you're sitting for board meetings and when you are now in the romantic place. But for employees, it's a bit different when you're employees.
yeah. So at the top level is okay.
It could
Well, it
work.
could work.
It could work.
Yeah.
And probably it has higher chances of working.
So when you say
at the
top level is you're the
proprietors.
directors, the proprietors of,
Yes.
the,
Yeah.
of the thing.
Yes.
But now versus 2 reporters, 2 doctors, 2 nurses, 2 teachers.
2 employees, just
Two
2
employees.
employees.
That would be very tricky. Though, I've got to say this, on the other hand, that you see, when you're looking for a spouse or a lover, it's not their profession, first of all, you're attracted to. It's the person. So if this person that you're attracted to is in the same profession with you, I don't think that somebody should then victimize you. True. If they have the qualities and they're a journalist, you're a journalist. I mean, they shouldn't be victimized just because they're a journalist or they're a doctor or something. Then on the flip side, again, it is not always true that if you marry somebody or you are with somebody who is in the same profession as you, they will understand you in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You could still be married to a doctor, and when you go for night calls, they're like, babe, you're never here.
The night call.
Yeah, they'll be like, you need to change your shift, find another hospital or something. Because when they're at home, they're no longer your doctor partner. They're a spouse that got married to be taken care of. So when you're always absent because of a job, even though she understands, but that's not what she signed up for. So
But how
it's,
come if in terms of signing up for, like if you're dating a doctor, you know the demands that the profession. I mean, you are a
Especially
doctor.
if you're one.
Yeah, you know that there are going to be demands.
well, it's when
so
your
That's
heart
why
falls in
CJ
love.
said logic and emotions.
Wanagongana.
Yeah.
Can't work. Iwezekani. Juu, ukisema ati hiyo kazi iko na demands and you are the wife, si ndio, or you are the husband, you need, what I call it, comforting. Rather, this job is too demanding and you need your spouse, ukirudi home, akusikilize, akwambie it's okay, babe. Unaget, but now you're getting home, you're feeling, that surgery didn't go the way I wanted it. Unaenda kumwambia pia yeye akona shida zake. There's a patient that is refusing to take medication. So you start sharing
But
your sorrows.
aren't you at least at the same level? At least
No,
you're-
but
it's a
no one's
health-
helping the other.
emotionally.
Okay.
Me, the Kikuyu in me. Then you can call look for money. It's okay.
Sasa ubani hawezi lala na pesa.
It's fine.
Pesa sabuni ya roho.
It's fine.
Lakini
It's
kuna vitu
fine.
zingine hawezi
I'll buy
fanya.
a warm water bottle.
Hiyo hot water bottle wacha tutaongea usiku. Sasa here's the question of the day. You saw it on the split screen. Let's blow it up so you can see it. So you can start commenting. Would you date somebody you work with? Would you date somebody you work with? No. SMS 22422 and text us with the hashtag
Logic
Daybreak.
speaking.
You can tweet at Citizen TV Kenya, at Willis Raburu, at Shatta Boy, at Shatta Tikitaka, at CJ Atemo, at Agnes Nonsizi. Would you date somebody you work with? Hit us up. We're going to try to sample some of them before Suluhu, Alete Suluhu. Huku hivi. So clearly, there are boundaries, right? But there is also that dicey situation where sasa, as there is kuna kudate initial stages.
Yes.
Then sasa inaanza ku
serious.
advance sasa,
Yeah.
right? And how do you then, if let's say there are people who are watching and they are dating somebody who is in the workplace. I know it actually takes mature people, but how do you do it?
Maturity.
Yeah, how do you do it? Because if you're to take Shatta's position, mtu akiambia girl demo wako, na leo umeng'ara we. Shatta should be happy, I think, like say, yeah, ameng'ara, yeah, we worked on it
Let
together.
me tell you, whether you work with her, hold on, Shatta. This is the point I was holding. Whether you work with her or not, hata mwambie kwa nyumba, hata akifika hiyo kazini, kuna wenye watamwambia every single day.
Asante. Wakimwambia sitakuwa.
So the problem is you being there and hearing.
Yes.
So, but you still know that she's being told.
I know because I'm dating her. I know she's beautiful. That's why I'm dating her. That's why I married her.
And for me,
she's
I feel
amazing.
like if two people are mature, because you see, again, also dating, no matter whether you're dating in the offices or where it is, it needs a lot of maturity. You know, it's your just, you know, dating in itself needs a lot of maturity because hata mnaweza enda mahali, before we declare who we are, someone will come and say, hey, no, Susan, you look nice. Before even they know who you are.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
And once
So
they know.
those are things you will experience everywhere. Hold on, before you beat me with stones. Those are things that you will experience everywhere. But how the maturity level would really determine how you will handle this situation. You've asked about if now you want to advance, and I know because I've seen people who talk about how their journey went, you see, and most HR policies, I don't know, different companies have different HR policies, especially when it comes to office romance, but you'd rather put it in the know than ikwe huku chini chini. And I will quote Wanjen Mutisia, who is a HR expert, and she was talking about this. She's like, the minute you tell people not to do things, that's what they will do. So just say, because you see, you can't, again, emotions are nature. People are social beings. Let them come and let them say, put it in the know that, hey, we are probably advancing to the engagement level, or I mean, we are going to the altar. See, I
just thought I'd let you know. Now we are dating.
No, please.
Reggae is on.
Let it be serious. Then now you can go. So that, and again, I was talking, when we were at the reception, I mean, at the waiting area, there was a HR lady who was there, and she said, when you get married, you're not supposed to supervise each other. You can't be my supervisor, I'm assuming, okay. You can't be my supervisor, and I cannot be your supervisor.
Professionally,
if you get married and we go to the HR, we are dating, we go to the HR, and like, what make this official, we are dating, we are a couple now, then after that you're married. Man and husband they cannot supervise each other. In that office.
So in short, what you're saying, I should get demoted or what?
No,
say I was your supervisor.
You probably moved
and that's
but again, if you are my supervisor,
you see now that is the complication, because then you'll be putting this company in a very tight place.
Yeah.
They have to adjust to you.
Because they have to now find places to put you.
Yeah.
I think it's Richard Branson actually who said that come out and then, if it is possible, do not supervise one another.
Yeah.
But then now what do we create? If we had a position for you and you had a position for your spouse, what do we create so that who goes where? That also is very difficult. So when you look at the whole complexity of it, sometimes it just becomes very challenging. I wanted to say something as well. As much as you say that people would, you know, they would compliment your partner wherever you are, it is limited when you're out there than it is at work. So let's assume that you're working with your partner, then they're in a certain department, and they've got this other team member that they work with a lot. You know, so they've got to go on assignments, they've got to travel, and that's somebody of the opposite gender. They have to do a lot of talks, even on call and all that. Sometimes this person, just knowing that you're there, may not be very comfortable to call even your partner. Because at the back of their mind, even if you've said, we are dating, they now start thinking, I don't know how this person will feel. Yeah, and so sometimes it compromises then the delivery
output,
of work. People will always be very sensitive about that. Somebody will be feeling like, okay, I want to go and talk to her, but maybe the other person will see that I'm talking to her too much. Or if they find the two of you talking in the office, they cannot come in. They feel like, let me excuse you. But if they found you with Willis, they'll just knocking like, hey, Nonsizi, we've got this work to do. When they find you with the person you're dating, they feel like that's private space.
So and yet it's in the office.
It's in the office. Yeah.
Kitu ingine pia, there's something you've asked, come out on a date sahi. Maze, if you're dating now, number one, please just get a paper signed that this is mutual. Okay?
Or
Because
that we are dating.
that we are dating without
Shata hizi
duress.
mashida zako.
Without
mtaani.
duress.
Because my friend, let me tell you, kuna suits zinaweza kuja, unaweza kukosana na mtu leo uanze kuandikia, say you are a boss and you are dating your junior and you've not
And
protected
now-
yourself by right at this point, you need to have it written somewhere or known somewhere officially that we are dating. Why? Because assuming yaribike, who you end, say you are the boss, your junior goes to the HR and says this one was sexually harassing me.
Or
What
I
proof
mean,
do you have
Yeah.
that
I
it
think the
wasn't
other thing
happening?
the other thing that could happen also, even I mean, yeah, it is serious, and that's another thing we'll talk about hopefully. Yeah, but also there is the fact that maybe you're the boss or one of the bosses,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
and imefika time sasa, maybe in COVID, it's time to let some people go,
Cool. And you want to let
and
go.
your spouse has not been working.
True.
Yeah.
Kwanza
Very-
amekuwa akiona as
amekuwa
boss wangu ni
And
mtu
no,
wangu.
and-
Kizembea, and now you have to let
a
them
security
go.
of tenure. Hawezi panguzwa, but now the company says unafaa kumpanguza.
Yes.
Hata mkikosana nyumbani, mmekuja kwa ofisi, there is tension between you. That office, say you're in a creative space, there will be tension in that office. Mbona waongeleshani? Why didn't they come together? You see? Yeah, there is a lot of distraction that will be happening around. It's not an easy thing. It needs, let me tell you, for office romance to work, it requires very mature people.
Yes.
Very
Extremely.
mature people and real people actually. You get, because your emotions, if you are not careful, will carry the day.
Yeah.
You will be in that office and you want to tell your wife something, but you can't tell her because mlivurugana asubuhi mkitoka, and you not telling her is affecting now since it's a job performance. Okay? Say you are supposed to work as a team. Ameamua juu amekununia hatafanya kazi. So that day utafanya, utaanza kumpasha mbele ya watu.
Hey, si sasa ni job. Asipofanya
So you agree with the issue now.
Tunaambia okay,
ati sasa ni
if
job.
aende
Alafu
nyumbani and say, let me just know that I'm going to kukuwa na shida nyumbani
Willis.
but enda home.
And the situations where the two of you are not talking,
Yeah.
then when this other person comes to the office, they're talking very well to everybody else.
Except
how
you.
Yeah, except you.
Ana smile huko, anachekesha
They're
watu,
very
akikufikia ana
energetic,
frown.
they're very alive, and all of that.
How would you
And
stand
then
that?
When you're leaving,
But why are we looking at the negatives? I feel like I'm very negative. When you look at the
It's
positive.
not-
But
not
it's the
negative.
reality.
I know, it is
It's
the reality.
reality.
But I think, I wish we could have a case scenario of people who have worked and they can tell
We
us.
have them, they read news here
Oh,
Saturday and
exactly.
Sunday.
And I saw, actually, when I was telling, I saw, yes, you see, it's working. So,
What I was
if
in
you're
his
there and you're falling in love with your, what do you call it?
But,
with your
colleague.
please go right ahead.
But
And also, listen, hold on. Hii kazi ni mapito, tunapita, you know, but you see, if you love someone and you feel like you want to spend the rest of the life with them, yeah, it is okay, fall in love with them, haya maneno mengine, tuta-deal nayo
uko mbele.
afterwards. If you follow the right steps and everything, and then it becomes impossible, then it's okay even to hunt a job elsewhere. I mean,
who
hujakorogewa
hunts
kwa
the
hiyo
job?
kampuni.
Who hunts the job?
Who wants the job?
'Cause now that
Whoever is
is your-
flexible enough, yeah, it would hunt a
How
job.
do you determine flexibility?
Whoever has, I don't know. Now, of course,
Nonsense.
they,
You have
because it has
worked
to be a
your way
conversation.
to get into this position.
Yeah.
The other person, you met her to work.
yeah.
Why would they be the ones who make you leave? That's not a very easy decision.
I know it's a very tough
Because you
decision.
earned your place there.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
didn't bring you in. So you'll be thinking, okay, so why should
have
I
to
leave
leave.
this place because of you?
Yeah.
You leave. So that's already quite something. So we're not trying to be negative. We're just trying to
See,
caution. It's
difficult.
caution.
It's caution.
It's caution so that somebody gets to know what they're getting
And
into.
also, there's something we mentioned about a senior dating a junior. You know, most of the
Or
situations,
vice versa. That would
or vice versa.
Very
Actually,
interesting.
yeah, wait, the people are ambitious, eh? So, and most of the time it's genuine, but there are those cases, and when I saw it, and I saw Jane talking about it, it was something for something. So, in most situations, and Shatta highlighted it, is when the senior probably is trying to hit on the junior, and they would want to decline. They feel like if I decline, then my
yes,
job
yes,
is at
yes.
stake.
That's right.
So you end up falling in love, not because you're really in love, but again,
Or-
if you lose your job,
Yes.
there's something that is going to happen. And this happens a lot, not even only in the workplaces, even in the music industry, where you're signed to a label, and there's a head of the label, and they have your career at stake. They've invested in you, and they have
Entered
and
DD
they have,
and
and then they're like, you know,
CR.
and then they start advancing, then you're like, you know. So let's
Cash.
also not forget that
yeah.
fact.
And you know, it could also be, there are different scenarios as well that could happen, and kuna zile tunaitanga situationships where you are the boss, but you are hunting for the, sasa wewe ndo the hunter. You're hunting for the junior. And just like you said, it's so hard to say no. You know, yes, no, no means no, and it should be respected. But sometimes it's hard to say no because itafika time unataka raise. Inafika time, like CJ says, you've been working your way to a certain point, and then now all of a sudden, you know you're probably been putting in more work than person X, but because person Y is dating person the
Z.
boss,
Person X.
then anakupita. So you're like, kwani huyu alifikaje hapa?
Yeah,
Kumbe,
favoritism.
instead of the boardroom, it's the bedroom.
Yeah.
Sasa inakuwa, sasa
Na
it
pia
becomes a problem.
in that context, sindio, say I am the boss, I have a wife, and there is also a lady colleague that they do the same duties, okay? I need to bring someone up, like promote someone, sindio? And I think this lady is more qualified than my wife. But they're in the same department. They do the same things, but I think she can deliver more. And I go promoting this lady. How will it sit with my wife?
Still, you cannot deliver.
Will it be thank you. Now imagine
Utaenda
taking that one
nyumbani
from your
useme,
spouse.
can I have some dinner? No, if I
You
can't
cannot
deliver,
If I can deliver,
I will deliver the dinner.
On the
Separate
flip
issues.
side, on the flip side, sometimes again, when we get that careful, we can also be very hurtful to the people that we love.
Yes.
True.
Because now you don't want it to be looked at as favoritism.
Yes.
But yet they're deserving.
They're deserving. So
deserving.
you're afraid to promote this person, give them more work, because you feel people will say just because they are related.
Ni wa boss huyo.
So it really puts pressure on that person because they're actually delivering, they're working, they've earned their place, they understand team dynamics, their productivity is probably higher than anybody else. But because you don't want to be seen to be favoring somebody
Yeah.
that you are relating with, then you feel like, okay, you know, so in your coffee dates, you're like, you know, babe, if I do this, guys will complain. But if she was somewhere else,
She probably would have.
Mm.
and then if she now wants to leave the company because some other company wants to poach her,
Poach her.
you feel like, how will it look? How will it look like you left this company to go to a rival and something like that? So that's why I said it's like holding liver.
Yeah, it's quite
Very
it's quite a dicey situation, and sometimes most of this we would like to talk about also sometimes when they can be, some of them are situational, like I said, situationships, where at work you work, but when you go home it fails. You could be so good at working
Wow,
together, your
yeah.
teammates, mkienda kama ni sales, you get the clients, but tukitoka
Bala.
hii bala, as long as there is no KPI, you don't work. So how do you deal with such a situation?
I think sometimes we think that when we can do things together,
Together.
then we can
Do life
get
together.
married. Or
I
something.
remember a quote, let me even cut you short, that
Yeah.
it's not just marriage that needs connection. Even business deals, we need to be on the same page for me and you to deliver something. So people confuse the fact that we can have a connection at a business and think, sasa si hata Willis anaweza hiyo, utashanga.
And sometimes you'll see that, like, you know, you work together very well. So people are like, you two look good together.
Yes.
And
Ama
you-
anakuwa office bay. Anakuwa office bay.
Wacha.
Office
Alafu
bay.
watu wanaanza kuwa brand huko nje.
Makosa.
You guys co-host vizuri. You guys could make a couple. Uwe.
Makosa.
Hivyo ndo mnachochwa. Alafu
If
mna
you're at
realize
the dating stage, you probably have the luxury to do what Bill and Melinda have done. To say, well, we'll keep working together. But we realize that
The
we
marriage
can't
is
be
not
together.
functional.
Yeah, that's why I say dating, so that nobody should quote me. And say,
The question we're asking is, would you date somebody you're working with? Would you date somebody you're working with? The SMS line is 22422 and the hashtag is Daybreak. Keep sending us your feedback on this as soon as we prepare them to the press. The other, there it is. Would you date somebody you work with? SMS 22422, hashtag Daybreak at Citizen TV Kenya. The other issue is, now the very serious and often sad one is, how do you as male or female, you know that huyu ni mdosi wako, you know that anakukatia, but hutaki. Na sasa utamwambia aje because hata yeye ana hold career yako kama liver.
But you see,
Companies.
Yes.
Sorry,
go ahead. No.
Companies, you see, the biggest mistake that people do on earth is sometimes they assume we exist in a vacuum. Like a company just sets up and they think they exist in a vacuum. They are not in this universe and they will not employ human beings. We know this is human nature, that people will do some things. People will fall in love in workplaces. People will want to use their positions to get romantically involved with you. Okay, so every company should have a policy against that. If, say, against no, people trying to use their positions.
Oh, yes.
Yes. There should be a policy against that. No, I wouldn't say at your company, at society, you want to date. No, I say, tukianza, you are human, and the emotions are human. And if I see you and at my workplace and you look like a person I want to spend my life with, I should tell you. Ukubali, ukatai, nijua umekata. Ukubali, kasonge. Now, these companies need to understand that the moment you are employing people, grown-ups, this will come up. When it comes up, how is it handled? Okay, when I am getting employed here, I need to know this is the policy. When I get, if I am feeling harassed,
How do
and I know when I say no, I might get fired because I said no, there needs to be a policy that protects me. Like I would go, every boss has a boss. You will, unless it is a sole proprietorship, where you're the boss and you're the everything, you see? So there has to be a system that I think I'm being victimized because I said no here. If you have proof of you said no, and now there is a panel that now we are firing them because they are not delivering. When they see you're delivering, they're like, no, this one is delivering. You go back to work. Unaelewa? A company needs to have that system that will protect its employees.
But I feel, I know the boy child pia anapitia hii, but I really do feel for some ladies, when some stories I've had, it's so crazy.
Crazy, man.
Sorry?
For ladies.
Yeah.
The stories that you hear, I mean, sometimes you, inabidi tu useme wenyewe madem have tough skin and mind and everything because it is so hard. You know, it's easier said than done. It's easy to say that tukipata na shida tutaenda kwa panel. It is so hard to prove that the boss, especially kama kwa huko juu, ako na anaku victimize because
it's one thing for laws to be in place and you still be retained because okay fine you didn't say you said no, you are not fired and all that, but the treatment and the environment, it is as toxic as it can get. You've never had that boss umemkata, my friend. Yani you'd rather just quit the job. Na mimi nasemanga unajua nini, there's no job worth dying for. It's okay, nitauza nyanya kule. It's okay, it's fine. But because men don't like rejection. Especially if it's a man. I'm looking at
nobody likes rejection.
Well, for men it's worse.
Nobody. It's just that we don't talk about how women handle. No.
Fine.
Nobody likes rejection.
But once you bruise in this situation, let me concede defeat. But the minute you bruise them. I was reading another book and it's very controversial. I won't mention the writer because it's ndapigwa na mawe. But they were saying if a boss asks you out, it's a crazy rationale by the way. Don't say no. Just quote higher. So if you're saying, hey, let's say you're my boss, you're hitting on me, don't see it's fine, but me, I want you to jengea me, I want you to do ABCD, I want to do this. Don't say no, just quote.
But if you,
like, mimi nilishindwa.
But sasa you see, hiyo sasa inakuwa transaction
now there.
And then ukijengea
na kufanya hizi vitu
inakuwa shida.
Now listen on Sizzy, and I think that is the rationale now that the CS was using. Because generally, when a man will do that, then you walk away, he will come for his investment. Because that was literally an investment.
Yes.
If he did all of that, and then you just pick up and
leave.
The repercussions may be worse because he may feel used. That is not in any way, in any means to justify. But I'm just talking about the triggers. You know, that is how you see sometimes guys coming up and saying, you know, they're going after the lady because she took my stuff, she used me and stuff like that. So still, she will be putting herself in a very difficult place.
Situation.
I don't even think that if you don't want to be in there, I don't think you should get his stuff. Don't get his stuff.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Kenye Nonsizi anasema ni overquote to an extent that this person won't give you anything. That they'll just
Some
leave
of
you
them
alone.
will.
Some of them will.
Si uangalie level yake kwanza,
And they say that's
upime
why-
ujue
Kama atafika mbele.
What if umwambie, for example,
Nijenge.
mimi ukitaka nijenge,
Then-
alafu aseme
Mawe
okay,
zianze kuanguka.
aanze tu
Wapi
okay
hapa?
sawa.
Ndio.
Aseme in fact hata nilikuwa na shamba, acha tumwage mawe kesho.
Sasa hapo umejikaza.
Anyway, we have some feedback here. Let's take a look at what you all are saying out there in terms of the question of the day. Would you date somebody you work with? Niweke 24 mbes ndo nione iko. Victoria Kisato anasema workplace relationships are very, very dangerous. Thank you very much, Mrs. Simon. Chemaiz underscore Korira anasema why not date? Mapenzi inaanza kwa macho, akili, halafu emotions inapanda, kisha vitu zinaumia tu. They say stolen fruits taste sweeter than the ones in the garden. Well, okay, sawa. Chemaiz Korir imefanya kuhengi. Eh? Oh, pole. Okay, there are some two more and some more, but keep talking to us using the hashtag daybreak. So, again, I feel like, oh, there's another one. G Macau 22. It's not always a bad thing. I benefited from office romance. I got a beautiful wife. Married for 5 years now. Congratulations. It's usually tough when starting issues that Ras. Ras ni wewe. Ama sisi is raising. Which Ras? Ras is raising cropper. But the moment you start dating at work and apply professionalism, all runs well. All right, cool. Jenya Chaki Kenya, for one to love, he or she doesn't plan for the same. It is simply a natural feeling. As long as two parties execute high levels of maturity, then it is good to go. But if a partner is a drama queen or a king, then believe me, even lending a pen will be an insecurity issue. Atasema kwani kalamu ni anene.
Na niwe peke yangu
Na
itisha.
niwe peke yangu itisha. Anonymous, you didn't leave, yes. I work with my hubby and we are together the whole day and go home together. I'm okay with it. Tukiwa job, we are workmates.
Is the hubby okay?
Is the hubby okay? It's good to
Well,
see
it's
that.
probably the other angle
Yeah.
that we need to then look at is when it fails,
What happened?
when you break up.
Yeah.
And even if it is allowed, even if your policy allows, then you break up. Then this other person moves on with another person in the office.
Aye.
Hapo kana sting.
Sasa hapo ndo
Actually-
utajua mlikuwa zero crazy.
Apart from being your problem, it becomes the company's problem also. Say, for example, I've been paired to work with Nonsizi because she's my wife, okay? And then we break up. We can no longer pair because the brand was a couple for this show. Then now we can no longer work together because we have separated. Now the company has to go look for another couple to come do this show.
Let me ask.
Or if it could be even just like I was saying, sales, something else.
Exactly.
Even
You are
for
a team.
income,
You
but
are
see,
a
we are
team.
seeing,
And now
see, we are
you- and
seeing
now- well,
couples
usianze
working
kuchoma.
together.
Take
No. I'm saying even marriage works couples put together the show for the money. Then after that, go.
And that's the thing.
On social
And that's another thing we'll
Hi, guys.
Yeah, well,
She didn't just do that.
anyway, we have to wrap up. But
For the mullah.
Lakini pia before we wrap up,
Yes.
not everything is gloom. Sio ati ni
Yeah.
mbaya.
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
said and we will say it again. If you are getting involved with your colleague
Yeah.
in a workplace, please make sure this person's you know this person's level of maturity. It is a beautiful thing. Love is a beautiful thing. No one should criminalize love from any level, you see. And also we need to mention that when this guy the CS was speaking about it, he was talking because he was saying there's a lot of violence that is happening, okay? That violence does not happen because of work.
Yeah.